Equations. An equation is a mathematical sentence that has an equal sign. Here are 3 examples. Pause the movie, copy the definition and examples into your notes. Now we're going to move on to solving equations. When we solve an equation, we want to figure out what the variable is. One of the methods I like to use is called the Coverup method. When we use the Coverup method, we cover the x up, and we ask ourselves, 15 plus what would give me 25? Well, by doing some math, I can figure out that if I added 10 to 15, that would give me 25. So x must equal 10. Here are some practice problems. Use the Coverup method to solve these equations. Let's look at the first one. Something minus 8 is 40. That answer would be 48. Pause the movie and try the rest on your own. Get your answers checked by your teacher. Another way to solve problems or to solve equations is not using the Coverup method, but something that we call the inverse method, or who's bugging who. If we start with the first example, x minus 28 equals 45. I know that my solution is going to say that x equals something. That's what I'm trying to find. In order to get x by itself, on the left-hand side of the equal sign, I need to figure out who's getting in the way of x being by itself. In this case, I see that 28 is in the way of x being by itself, or negative 28. To get rid of the negative 28, I'm going to put in positive 28 on the left-hand side. Because it's an equal sign, what I do on one side, I also have to do to the other side. Now I use my upside-down triangle. I bring the x down, because nothing's happened to the x. Negative 28 and a positive 28, that cancels out. Now I have x by itself by adding a positive 28. 45 and 28, if I add those up, I get 73. X is equal to 73. I can go and check this now. 73, if I write 73 instead of x, minus 28 should give me 45 is my answer. Let me check. 73 minus 28. And yes, 45 is the answer, so I know that x is equal to 73. By adding the 28 to both sides, this is the inverse method. Because instead of having negative 28, I now have my positive 28. Let's try another problem. Let's try 45 equals x minus 12. I want to get x by itself. I look and try to see who's getting in the way of x being by itself, and it looks like it's 12 negatives. So I will put in 12 positives. What I do to one side of the equation, I make sure I do to the other side so that it stays equal, stays balanced. 45 and positive 12 is 57. Bring down the equal sign, just like my upside down triangles for order of operations. I haven't done anything to the x, so I bring the x down. Negative 12 and positive 12 cancel out. I now have x equals 57. Let's go check it. 45 equals x minus 12 was my original equation. If I plug 57 in for x, we're going to see if that equation comes out to be true. Does 57 take away 12 equal 45? Yes, it does. So I know that x equals 57. One last example, z plus 12 is equal to negative 10. Who's bugging z? Positive 12. To get rid of the positive 12, I'm going to put in a negative 12. What I do to one side of the equation, I have to do to the other. Using my upside down triangle, nothing happened to the z. The positive 12s and the negative 12s cancel. Bring down the equal sign. Now, this is important because we're in positive and negative numbers. We have to think of what we learned about integers. I have 10 negatives. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I have 12 negatives. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, which is actually 22 negatives. I have to go back and check my work. Z plus 12. Z we said is negative 22. Does negative 22 plus a positive 12 equal a negative 10? Yes, it does. So I know that my answer, z equals negative 22, is correct. Pause the movie and copy this last example into your notes. Now try these problems.
Do problems 1 through 4 at home. We will check them the next day in class.